Did you know that 78% of men don't approach women anymore?
Where the hell are all of the men over 40? Because I'm convinced y'all are hiding from me.
I'm unmarried, never been divorced, no kids, and not for a lack of trying or because I don't want a family. Can anybody else relate to this?
Whatever happened to men going up to women? Whatever happened to it? We want that. Bring that back. Can we bring that back? Can we start a movement?
If you guys forgot, I'm 29 and single, and I'm having one of those Monday mornings where I woke up feeling like I wanted to cry. I'm just tired of being by myself. I just want to be in love, you know?
What happens when men stop treating dating and sexual attention as something they have to constantly pursue? As modern dating continues to evolve, more people are spending longer periods single, while younger adults are developing different views on intimacy, relationships, and commitment at the same time. Social media has created new ways for people to receive attention, interaction, and validation without necessarily building a meaningful relationship. This raises an interesting question. Are some men genuinely losing interest in sex, or are they simply becoming less willing to chase relationships at any cost? In today's video, we take a closer look at this changing dynamic, why some men are stepping back from the dating scene, and what they believe they gain by putting less energy into the pursuit of intimacy and approval.
3 reasons why I should be your girlfriend. I will cook and clean for you all the time, every day. I'm very loyal and supportive, very supportive and loyal. And lastly, I will give you every day.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain. True pain.
Reality is that people make different choices during their younger years, and those decisions can shape what their lives look like later on. Some may prioritize excitement, independence, or other experiences instead of settling into a long-term relationship. But being single later in life is not automatically proof that someone made the wrong choices. Relationships depend on timing, circumstances, compatibility, and personal priorities. Likewise, the people who felt overlooked in the past may have eventually found partners who appreciated them and built lives together on their own terms.
Are almost twice as likely as women to marry out of the West. So these guys are they've exhausted their options in the West or in their town or in their city or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So guys who are in their 20s and 30s are I'm not even going to start dating in my community. I'm going to look abroad first, which is kind of insane to me. You got to test the waters first before you even go out there.
So you're almost 40, yes. And you've never been married? No. And you don't have kids? No. And you don't want to have kids? No. What have you done with your life? Well,
genuine happiness does not always need to be displayed for an audience. When someone constantly feels the need to prove how satisfied or fulfilled they are online, it can raise questions about whether the image matches their private reality. A confident smile can look convincing on camera, but real contentment is often reflected in a person's behavior when there is nothing to prove and no audience watching.
That live here in America. We need more men approaching women. A lot of you guys know that I'm a hairstylist. I have a lot of clients. Most of my clients are women. 96-97% of them are single. Beautiful women with their life together. Not just single because they don't want to. Single because they can't find men. They do try to go to grocery stores, to go to the gym, to go to the park, to church, open spaces to see if they can find a man to talk to. But what they say that men do not approach. Men do not initiate anymore. We need men to initiate more, please.
As a man, once you learn to live alone, you come to realize that most women are only good for one thing. And once you realize you can rent that one thing, you start to see that most women have little else to offer.
I believe men are supposed to chase a woman, date her, spoil her, respect and adore her, and love her more. Anything outside of that is just weird. And if you're watching this as a woman, disagreeing with it, thinking it's too much or you don't deserve this, you have been brainwashed and you do not know your own worth. And you may even have internalized misogyny, which you definitely need to work on and heal that shit.
Trying to convince someone to understand a perspective they have already dismissed can quickly become exhausting. Sometimes, experience communicates a lesson more clearly than any argument ever could. For men who choose to step away from relationships or dating situations that no longer feel worthwhile, the goal does not have to be isolation or giving up on connection altogether. It can simply mean redirecting time and energy toward personal growth, meaningful relationships, career goals, financial stability, or a more peaceful life. The important distinction is that walking away is not necessarily about having nothing to pursue. It can be about choosing something that feels healthier and more rewarding.
I'm often curious to why a woman says, I know my worth, especially when they have nothing to offer other than looks. Some don't even have anything going for them. What is their criteria for establishing their worth? Because women with a lot of baggage seem to have this, I know my worth illusions. All right. Bitches just talk. I mean, seriously. She says she knows her worth. What she's trying to do is sell you on the fact that that used up vagina she has, that she's put countless miles on, is somehow worth premium price, hoping that she can get you to buy the fact.
So what I'm telling women is, do not, if you want a family, if you want a husband, do not allow yourself to get to a point where you hit that wall. You are 37, you are looking in the mirror, whatever age that is, and you see a different face and you see your youth going away from you and you start to panic and you can't find yourself in the mirror. Don't let that be the case while you're still on the hunt for a man, or you are going to feel inadequate, depressed, anxious, and rush in to do something toxic to your body to compensate for that. If women just listened more to what people like me are saying, and in your 20s, instead of burying in the career stuff and burying in everything else, you acknowledged the reality that what you have is going to go away. The fertility, the youthful beauty.
Treating potential partners as if they are easily replaceable can have consequences over time. If someone repeatedly dismisses people who are genuinely interested while waiting for an idealized partner who may never appear, their options can become more limited as circumstances change. There's nothing wrong with having standards, but relationships also involve compromise, timing, and mutual interest. The person someone imagines as the perfect partner may not realistically exist, while the people who were available and genuinely interested may have moved on. In the end, dating is not simply about what someone expects to receive. It also depends on what both people are willing to offer each other.
Women waiting. They're waiting. Well, I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my degree. I want to be successful. Nothing wrong with that. But what happens is they get to 30 and they have an epiphany. They're like, oh shit, I got to hurry up. Mm-hmm. Like we had a guest on here, I won't say the name.
Timeline.
35 years old, childless, no husband. You're at that, we call it hitting the wall.
Yeah.
And then they become negative around it and start saying men are shitty, men are douchebags. And then they get in their 40s and they end up on TikTok talking shit at 40 years old, which is pointless, right? What did you do in your 20s? And this is another thing. It's interesting on planning. Watch this, Sean. And I know you get this. You talk to men, you say plan. You counsel women, plan. I ask a woman on the show, what's your 2 to 5 year plan? I don't know. You don't know.
But yet you want a quality man.
You're 35 years old.
Biology does not always follow the timelines people create for themselves. And some aspects of aging and fertility cannot simply be postponed indefinitely. At the same time, personal decisions around relationships, careers, family, and appearance are far more complicated than a simple deadline. Cosmetic treatments later in life should not automatically be described as panic or regret, because people choose them for many different reasons. The broader point is that long-term goals are often easier to pursue when people think about them early rather than waiting until circumstances become more difficult. Planning ahead can create more options, while blaming others for outcomes shaped by a combination of personal choices and changing circumstances rarely solves the problem.
Yeah, she's really panicking. So you start to say things like kids, family. You can mention that shit. Listen.
Let's talk about what Charlie Kirk said.
We've basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job. And it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, you know, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry. It's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have your corporate job and cats. So I thought, you know.
This generation of women, I would say generations of women, have been fed this idea that it is more important for you to make money and to be independent and to live on your own in your 20s and your 30s. And then you are going to find a guy who wants to marry you. You're going to settle down. You're going to be able to have kids, and you can spend the next 10 to 20 years doing it all or balancing both. And that is a lie. That has absolutely caused mass hysteria. That is a lie that has caused a lot of disappointment and devastation.
A generation of people was encouraged to believe that life could follow a simple sequence. Establish a career first, focus on relationships later, and assume the dating world would remain unchanged in the meantime. But real life does not always work according to a fixed plan. People meet partners, build families, change priorities, or move on at different stages of life. Yes, those expectations collide with reality. Frustration can easily spill into online debates about dating, relationships, and gender. The bigger lesson is that there is no universal timeline for building a successful life. Career goals, relationships, family plans, and personal priorities all involve trade-offs, and understanding those trade-offs early can help people make decisions that fit the future they actually want.
Called me for some advice, right? She's in a relationship, living with her man, but the man does not want to have sex. Like, he's never initiating. Even if she explains to him, you know, she wants some, it's just kind of like, he not in the mood, he don't want to do it. She doesn't think he's cheating. She doesn't think he's gay. Is that normal? Like, for me, I didn't really know what to tell her because I have never been faced with such a challenge. So I don't know. So I'm asking you, and especially men, if you all could comment, any man that has been in this situation or for some reason just doesn't feel like having sex with his partner, what is he seeing with that?
I had a wonderful day at the beach today, but now it's Friday night and I'm all alone.
A generation of people was encouraged to believe that life could follow a simple sequence. Establish a career first, focus on relationships later, and assume the dating world would remain unchanged in the meantime. But real life does not always work according to a fixed plan. People meet partners, build families, change priorities, or move on at different stages of life. Yes, those expectations collide with reality. Frustration can easily spill into online debates about dating, relationships, and gender. The bigger lesson is that there is no universal timeline for building a successful life. Career goals, relationships, family plans, and personal priorities all involve trade-offs, and understanding those trade-offs early can help people make decisions that fit the future they actually want.
So I think I speak for a lot of women. Where are the men that can't breathe when you talked to us? Couldn't breathe when we were touching you. When you were suffocating when we weren't next to you. Where are those men? Because we want them. We want you to not be able to breathe when we're talking to you because you're so consumed by the thought of us that you are thinking about us and suffocating when we're not next to you. I don't know. Is it too much tax for it? I don't think so.
I have to say I feel sorry for some of you men out there in the dating world because it is 2025. I'm a 38-year-old female, and these women out here even confuse me. Some women out here putting Jesus in their bio, but then you go look at their stuff and it's nothing but thirst traps, lustful, seductive content. I mean, the modern day woman calls serving your husband oppression, but yet will have no problem going out and serving a male boss and cry that that's empowerment. And real feminine energy is not sexual marketing like the modern day woman might tell you. Y'all are getting seduction and femininity like completely confused. And I've said it before, but a lot of women have this long laundry list of unrealistic criteria that they want in a man, but yet they bring nothing to the table. And we don't talk about that. We tell the women, no, you are a queen, you will be treated as such, but we're not teaching women how to be wives these days. And I would go out on a limb and say that most of the women out in the modern day dating culture do not actually have standards, they have entitlement. And accountability, a woman's kryptonite. Some of you ladies are going to die alone, still blaming men for the choices that you made.
Being in your late 20s is so hard. I've seen a few people talk about this and just kind of the loneliness of your late 20s, and especially people who are kind of in this middle stage of, hey, I'm not married, don't have kids, not in a relationship, but I'm also not going out every weekend. I spend a lot of my time by myself. I live alone. I come home from work, I go to the gym, I spend my evenings alone. And on the weekend lately, I feel like I've been so exhausted that all I want to do is like spend time by myself. And I'm struggling with questions about work. You know, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I good at it? Should I be traveling right now and not working? Or should I be trying to work remotely so that I can travel? Like, there's just all these things that I think I would like to experience. And it's hard to know, well, when am I going to experience those things?
Independence was the goal, and for many people, that goal was achieved. The more complicated part is that independence can feel very different at different stages of life. As priorities change, some people may look back and realize that the choices they made earlier have shaped the options available to them today. The men who were overlooked did not simply disappear. Many moved forward, built relationships with people who appreciated them, and created lives around their own priorities. That does not have to be viewed as punishment or revenge. It can simply be the result of people making different choices and eventually finding different paths. Oh, why are some men becoming less interested in constantly chasing sex, attention, or validation? If these examples reveal anything, it is that some men are beginning to place greater value on peace, independence, personal growth, and meaningful connections. For someone who once felt overlooked, stepping away from the pursuit does not necessarily mean giving up on relationships. It can mean becoming more selective about where time, energy, and emotional investment are placed out of course. This does not describe every man, every woman, or every relationship. People have different experiences and different priorities. But if more men decide that intimacy and attention are no longer rewards they need to relentlessly pursue, the dating landscape could continue to change. The bigger question is whether both sides will adapt to a dating environment where attention cannot simply be taken for granted and where mutual interest matters more than expectation. Thanks for watching Toe Voice. If you enjoyed the discussion, like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. We welcome thoughtful debate. So leave your perspective in the comments and let us know how you see these changing dating dynamics.